Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is where I share recipes, meal prep, and dinner inspiration. Today I'm making a double batch of pot pies for the freezer, including these mini pot pies for quick lunches. But before we jump in, I wanted to bring to your attention the Walmart icons you may have noticed on some of my videos' thumbnails. These videos now have linked grocery lists for Walmart pickup in the description, making meal planning that much easier. If this is something you find helpful, please comment below. And if you haven't already, tap on that subscribe button so you'll be notified each time I upload new content. Now let's jump right in. This recipe starts with an all butter pie crust. I made a big batch for the freezer the other day, so that's what I'll be using. This has been my go-to pie crust recipe for over 10 years. My pies come out golden and flaky every time. You can find the link to this recipe as well as a full list of ingredients and measurements in the description box below. I love to use a whole chicken for this recipe because it's budget friendly and cooking it in simmering water will give me a great broth, which I'll need for the filling later. I'm starting with about 10 cups of water. Keep an eye on that water line. After about an hour, I added in another 2 cups. My chicken was done after 2 hours. You know it's done once it's falling apart. Remove the chicken from the pot and let it cool. I popped mine in the fridge for a few minutes. While my chicken is cooling, I'm going to strain my broth into a jar. Once the chicken is cool enough to handle, pick the meat from the bones. Now for the filling, you're going to need butter and diced onions. I prefer sweet onions, but all I have is purple, so that's what I'll be using. Once your onions are tender and translucent, stir in some flour. Let this cook for a bit until it's all mixed together. You want to give that flour a little time to cook so you don't have a raw flour taste in your filling. Now it's time to add in that chicken broth and some milk, salt, and pepper. Give that a stir and continue to cook. Once everything has thickened up, you can add in your frozen veggies and chicken. Okay, now that your pie filling is ready, we can start assembling these pies. I'll be using 2 8-inch pie pans and this little tool here that I use to make my kids Uncrustables. I love this little tool. I use it for all kinds of things. I'll link it below. If you don't have this, you can make mini pot pies using a standard muffin tin. Roll your dough to your desired thickness. Place the dough over the top of your pie pan and gently form the crust to the inside of your pan. I'm just going around the edges here, tapping gently to ensure my crust has made it all the way to the corners of the pan. I'm no expert baker. I am sure there are better techniques out there. I'm just going to take my knife and cut around the edge of my pan. I'm reserving all the excess crust here for my mini pies. Fill your pie before topping it with another layer of crust. Again, I'm just cutting off the excess from the edges and then I'm doing my best to form what resembles a pie crust. Once I'm finished, I like to poke a few holes in the top to vent. I'm not sure if that's necessary, but I like the way it looks. Here's my second pie. I'm going to pop these in the freezer just like this until they're frozen through. As you can see, I really don't have a ton of freezer space. This is always like a game of Tetris, but once they're frozen through, I'll be able to easily stack them. Now for the mini pot pies. I am always looking for quick and easy lunch ideas. I love things that I can easily pop in the oven. What do you all typically make for lunch? Please comment below. I am always looking for new lunch options and would love some inspiration. Once I've rolled and cut my dough, I'm going to spoon some of the filling onto the center of each one of these before topping them. This is actually the first time I've made these mini pies. I found that pressing around the edges with my finger before taking the little tool to the top gave me a better seal. My kids really enjoyed these. However, next time I'm going to use a muffin tin to make them. I think that the muffin tin would allow me to get more filling in each pie, making it a heartier and more filling lunch. My boys are 8 and 10, and they each ate 2 of these and were asking for more. Again, I'm going to pop these in the freezer just like this. Once they were frozen through, I transferred all my pies to zipper bags. You can bake both the mini and full-size pies from frozen. Just pop them into a preheated oven at 375. The mini pies bake for about 25 to 30 minutes. I like to place these on a baking sheet in an effort to keep my oven clean, as sometimes the butter drips from the pie crust during baking. It also makes pulling these from the oven easier. These take about an hour and 15 minutes to bake. You know your pie is done when the top of the crust is nice and golden. I like to let my pie rest on the counter for about 15 to 20 minutes or so before cutting into it. All right, that's all I've got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.